gain power. arcane power. I'm injured. I wish I could do that. Need more time. How does that feel? I never imagined such a creature. I need arcane power. Still waiting. Not ready yet. Need more time. I am so good. I astound myself. Still waiting.
The Rift Guardian!
Victory, my friend! Not ready yet.
Mining when if you have a gem. Yes.
I need to go back. It was an honor.
Well,
My knowledge increases.
I wish.
$2,331. How is it impossible?
Your defenses are nothing. Doesn't get any better. Your grave awaits. Still waiting.
So this is focus on the strength. Bracers. They're like legendary. They are ancient.
Not ready yet. If my old masters could see me now. I don't have enough arcane power. Need more time. Only they could see me now.
857M. What the fuck?
The Rift Guardian has arrived.
Need more arcane power. to go back. My knowledge increases.
Yes?
Why do you keep glancing over at Kadala?
Oh, just making sure she isn't up to anything suspicious.
What the heck? How is this guy so strong?
A foe worth killing.
Many enough.
Wow.
I am unstoppable. I am so good. I astound myself. Nicely done. I don't have enough arcane power. I am unstoppable. Didn't see that coming, did you? I need arcane power. You dare attack me? My power grows. ready yet. You dare attack me? Need more arcane power. Your grave awaits.
The rift comes!
I need to go back.
Well fought.
If my old masters could see me now. That is too expensive.
Embrace.
If only they could see me now. Still waiting. You dare attack me?
because I want to get it. So.
Enough arcane power. Nicely done.
The Rift God.
Can't carry more. I am turning to town.
Want to see what you'll get? What? I didn't even know I had that thing. What? I didn't even know I had that thing.
I can't carry anymore. To go back.
Well done.
Happy restraint. Unless I can get damage or something. This sucks. It's legendary, but the rolls are crap.
My ally has left. The enemies I face will be weaker now.
Rushes and neighboring glare. Shield of hate. Oh, witching hour. Intelligence. What intelligence? It's good, but it's crap. Guess I can store it. Ah, the rules are crap. Crappy rules.
Enemies of
I need arcane power. Need more time. I didn't think I could get any better.
The heck?
Guardian is here.
I don't have enough arcane power.
You have trust. Let's see what we can do.
I need to go back. I am stronger still.
Are you strong enough?
Not ready yet. Your grave awaits. arcane power. Didn't see that coming, did you? more time. I'm just warming up. I am so good. I astound myself.
The Rift God.
My bags are full.
I may be able to
I am returning to town.
Anything could happen. What a steal. I didn't know I had that thing. See you soon. Don't forget, luck always changes. What? I didn't even know I had that thing. It looks nice on you.
Hello.
I am returning to town.
Well,
I become more powerful. That creature must die.
many Nephilim have stood.
I'm just warming up. Still waiting.
What's that about? No problem. Thanks for the party.
Are you strong enough?
Need more arcane power. See me now. Not ready yet. Your grave awaits. Didn't see that coming, did you?
Yeah, I like the build. It looks
I astound myself.
nice. The build is very strong. Sometimes I play mostly to have fun than to be really strong. Are you from Japan? Because if you are, I don't understand why it's lagging unless you're playing on Wi-Fi.
I don't have enough arcane power.
Maybe it's my stream. How about I join your game? But I can only do 75. I can't go higher than that because I'll die. I mean, you saw earlier was very close.
I'm just warming up.
But where do you live? Sometimes it's because of the area. I'm in Asia. So if you're somewhere in Europe or in the West, then of course it's going to lag.
I am unstoppable. I need to go back.
Okay, have fun. Thanks for the party.
Feel.
Before this game was really bad in terms of online playability
Need more time.
because there were like tons of hackers, tons of modders. But now that they introduce seasons, the legitimate players have started, coming out of the woodwork. So it's become a really good community again. The reason why I like playing it is because it reminds me, it's like a cross between bullet hell shoot 'em up games or bullet hell shooter games and Dota. That's why I really like it. And the reason why it reminds me of Dota is because of the builds and the theory crafting involved in perfecting them.
The Rift God.
Yes, they're updating it every season. So this season is 14, season 14. So it comes with rewards and stuff. So every season they update it, they give more content. The event of this season is they double the goblins. So that's something new. And people are speculating that there will be a new class soon, the druid. Oops. Um If by content you mean like DLC, and we're still undecided,
Still waiting.
but it is getting updates.
I am so good. I astound myself. Coming, did you?
To be perfectly honest, any class
Into town.
would be good at this point in the game because they balance everything really nicely. But if you really want to get into it, I'd say the Crusader Barbarian would be a good start because they're really easy to play. The others are not so much, but they're all equally balanced and fun to play. For ranged, I propose the Witch Doctor because he has a lot of pet builds, and Necromancer is also fine. So those four classes will more or less be good for beginners. Witch Doctor, Necromancer, Crusader, and Barbarian.
No. In fact, I decided to get the days eating.
Don't be shy.
Are you from Japan?
Well,
Oh, wow. All crap. That's all I get. Crap. Oh, yes, yes, yes. This is what I needed. This is what. This is crap. 10% wave of force damage. Wave of force. Yeah, the Japanese community is really big in Diablo 3. Every time I check the streamers, there's at least more 4 or 5 Japanese streamers. So I'm surprised that for a really old Diablo 3 is really old. I'm surprised people are still streaming it, especially the PS4 version. I got ancient, but crappy stats. Oh no. Movement speed. Is movement speed important? Oh, I guess it is. Eek. Give me armor. Resistance. This looks good. I can read that konbanwa. Hmm. Let's see what else do I have. Puzzle ring! I have a puzzle ring. Oh, ancient Swami. That looks good. Everything else is crap. Bothering. Who, me or Nanto Seiken? Wailing Host. If you live in Japan, then there won't be much of a problem in terms of connectivity. I can help you out, like if you want to go seasons. I'm actually looking for people playing in Asia. I've added people who joined my game, but they're from Portugal. Wait, Portugal? No, wait. Denmark and one's from Netherlands. So you can imagine. I don't really mind the lag. I mean, usually when I play hardcore seasonal, I do my best to like go survivability build. So I really don't mind the lag that much. But so I don't mind joining games. I prefer the other guy enjoying it more than I do. So I've been playing this game since like vanilla Diablo back on the PC. If you want to go seasonal is easy. Like, just go normal, pick normal, and then just play through the game. Uh, by playing on normal, the enemies kind of level up with you, so anyone can play through the game on normal without any difficulty. It's like really, really easy. That's how This is my second account, so even though I've been playing this game like so many times, I still felt good about playing it through it again on normal because it doesn't really push you to get better. Just you gradually improve at it, and then you'll be surprised at how much you've improved since the beginning. So the learning curve is really, really forgiving, as is most Western RPGs. Yeah, the season thing, you can start at level 1. But if you wanna like party up, or you'll have to go hardcore, because usually that's where the who's this? Who's following? Oh, it's you. Is that Howard Sean? Is that you? That's weird.
I have a new ally in my group, but my enemies gain strength
Who
as
is
well.
this? Someone joined.
Many blessings.
I guess I'll salvage all of this.
I have a new ally in
So
my
now I have
group,
3
but
people in my
enemies
group.
gain strength as well.
Yesterday, it was really kind of sad, and at the same time surprising, because um, before seasons came, and I've only been playing hardcore ever since Diablo 3 on the PlayStation. I've only been playing hardcore because hardcore is the way to go. it really pushes you to do better, and it's less boring for me personally. So that really gives me incentive. Sure, sure, you can add me as a friend. And yesterday, it only started to sink in when the people I've been playing with died. So it was really sad because they were like already high Paragon levels. One was like really leading us into Greater Rifts, like really high level dungeons and shit. And then he died. And then the whole party just stopped. And it was just so sad to see. Like, that could be anyone. Anyone could die in this game. Like, these two people I'm with, if they're not careful, they're going to die. And if they die, I have to get out of here.
I need to go back.
Oh shit, that was close. So it's life going to 50%. I'll add you in chat because it's more real time that way. If you don't mind. Okay, they're still alive. That's good. Konbanwa, hajimemashite. No problem. Will help me like stay awake, because most one of the most terrible things that could happen while playing hardcore is falling asleep, and that's how I died many times before. So Howard Sean, you're half American, half European, half Japanese. Oh, yes. So my name's John. Yeah, but Americans usually pronounce it Jan because of how it's spelled, Jan. So I'll just call you Howard if that's all right. Oh, okay, Sean.
I can't pick up anything else.
So you have two first names. Oh. Oh, so yeah, in Japanese, Howard's the first. The last name's first. Okay, got it. Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
My ally has left.
Yeah.
The enemies I face will be weaker now. I am returning to town.
Oh, I can only see the katakana part. I mean, I only understand the katakana part a bit. Someone left? Oh. Oh. So what other games do you play? If you don't mind me asking. Uh-huh. Oh, cool. So we can uh there's like some kind of connection with Final Fantasy 14 in the fact that you're going to be needing to grind, but it's a lot easier to grind here. So, the reason why I was asking is because other people are kind of turned off by the grind because it's a hack and slash as well as a dungeon crawler where you have to grind through all the dungeons and shit. But if you played MMOs, then I can understand how you might enjoy this game. Oh, wait, if you're into Diablo 2, does that mean you're like one of the older millennials? Hey, I just turned 32 today. What the fuck? Yeah, thanks. Wow. Okay. Oh, that's still cool. We're still in the same age group. Yeah, you sound kind of young. So you're fluent in Nihongo?
Still waiting.
Oh,
If only they could see me now.
oh, so okay, so you didn't uh you weren't born there. Oh, I'm sorry if I'm asking like really personal questions and stuff. Oh. If you want the one with the necromancer, I think it's something else. It's called something else.
Warming up.
Oh, okay, cool. Hi, Zeus. I have another friend. He's in Korea, and he's really busy. But whenever we play, it's a lot of fun because he like. I'm not much of a masochist, but when we play, like he likes to shit talk me a lot, and for some reason that's how we bond. He would say shit. Before, the reason why he would shit talk me is because we're playing hardcore, right? And the problem is I have more free time than he does, so I end up overtaking him in terms of progression. And what that does is whenever we play, I become a bit impatient, and so I end up going. I become confident for the both of us. Like I think he can handle higher difficulty levels, and this is hardcore. And then what that usually does, it kills him, and then afterwards we would stop playing. Because he, other people, like the Denmark guy, the Danish guy I was playing with the other day, he has this strange reaction to dying in hardcore. Like usually people who die in hardcore, they would like end up really stressed out, smoke like ton of cigarettes before coming back into the game, right? But that guy, once he dies, he goes right back in, which is kind of, admirable. But yeah, because my friend doesn't have a lot of free time, it's completely understandable how he would like feel really downhearted after killing his high level character. So now I'm being as patient as fuck. And the reason why I started the seasons because the season 14 started June 15, so that's around more or less 2 weeks ago. So the earlier the season, the earlier you start the season, the better off you are, especially in hardcore, because hardcore is all about taking it really slow, really calculated and shit. And when I played with him before last season, we started like almost midway. Seasons last for around 3 months, 3 or 4 months, and the end of this season is estimated on September. So I know I have a lot of time before, uh,
Your valor
before it ends. And so I am way more patient now, and I'm farming tournament 13 now. So that's like the highest difficulty level in the game. But in order to get really strong, the tournament 13 is like level 60 in the Greater Rift levels, and the highest level right now, because you can see the leaderboards, so it's become a bit of a competition. The highest for the wizards, I can check it. It's 112. So that's just the highest difficulty in the game, in terms of the story and in on the adventure modes. It's only around a little bit more than half of the complete, package of the basically end game. So it's going to be a long journey, especially if you're someone who wants to go a different route. It's easy to get, to the high level of the rift. All you have to do, check that the top 3 or top 5 players, and check what they have. Check their builds, check their skills, check their items, and just copy that. Just keep farming until you get that, and then more or less you're going to catch up to them really fast. The challenging thing is to find your own unique build and then revolve around, your progress on that. And that's what I like about the game. Like, it doesn't force you to go one route. There's like a lot of routes, and you just need to play the game and experiment to get to that, satisfied. Like that dude that was with me earlier, he commented me in saying that my build's kind of unique. But the thing is, in terms of endgame, there are only 4 or 5 builds you can pick from. But the fact is, my build is kind of rare in terms of the rest of the top 5. Like if I go to the top 5 again, I'm sorry, I'm blabbing on and on. Um, yeah, I can check. They're using Twister Sword. Most of them, Twister. They're all using Twister Sword. But my build revolved around um, Unstable Scepter. So yeah, so that's fairly different from everyone else. So you don't have to follow the group. Any tips for getting my first hardcore seasonal character without having the gift? Gift? What gift? Oh, you mean Hadrig's gift? Oh, this guy's asking from chat. Um, if you're going to Torment 1, I recommend crafting the strongest gear from the blacksmith. See, it's level 70, level 70. When you do that, the important thing is you get a two-handed weapon that has a socket, and then use that socket for an emerald gem, and that will help you in Torment 1. That's what I used to get to Torment 1. And once you reach Torment 1, you can easily get the gear you need to go to Torment 3. And I think Torment 4 is how you get the gift. I think Torment 4, yeah. Okay. The thing is, I really didn't like Diablo at first, like a long time ago. I saw Diablo 2, my friends were playing it, but I never got to play it like how they played it, because I didn't have a PC back then. So when Diablo 3 came out, my brother is the one who invited me. He basically bought the game and told me to play it with him. And for some reason, I'm the only one left from the group of friends that play Diablo, because I wanted to play hardcore and everyone else didn't, because they're afraid of their character. They're afraid their character might die, and then they won't be able to play anymore. But for me, I like challenging games like Dark Souls, Demon Souls. But they should be fair. I mean, in terms of challenge, they shouldn't be like crazy. Monster Hunter is also really fun. We were like really getting into it, but then once we reached endgame, farming the gems. I think there were gems there too, right? I forgot what kind of gems there were. Like to strengthen the weapon even more. Like after it's upgraded, you'll have to find a gem to get give more damage and stuff. Yeah, the attack gems per weapon. So it's different for a sword, different for, and I tried to farm it for a while, but it took me so, it got really hard, difficult because most of the time playing solo, and usually most of the people playing are, dicks. So I kind of lost interest a bit. Wait, what am I doing? Yeah, we couldn't finish that event. What's his name? The one that looks like a T-Rex? Yeah, we could. Yeah, Devil Joe, yeah. We couldn't. It was too difficult. We rage quit more than it. Before we thought the Kririn was difficult. And then we. Yeah. Wow. So that's more difficult than Tempest. That sounds like a pain in the ass.
The Rift Guardian.
Uh-huh.
My bags are full.
Are you... Oh, okay. You're excited for the collaboration? Final Fantasy 14.
Such
Yeah,
a brave soul.
you play both the games. Yeah.
Do come back again. See you soon. What? I didn't even know I had that thing.
I quit after I got reported. Yeah, and it was a funny report.
I need to go back.
The reason why I got reported was because I was spamming good job, but I was actually spamming good job sincerely. In PvP. The first time I got like reported was because I was having an argument with one of my party members. He was taking the aggro from me way too many times, and when I called him out on it, he told me, "Don't be toxic. This isn't LOL, so keep your opinions to yourself." And then he reported me. So I actually didn't get reported because of that reason, but they didn't want to kick me out. I wanted to like get kicked out because if I left on my own, you know that there's a penalty, right? So I didn't want to get the penalty for some stupid idiot who kept taking the aggro from me. So I stayed in the game, and that's how I got like warned, and it completely tarnished my record in the game, and I didn't feel like playing because I have a freaking warning in my freaking game, even though I was like being on my best behavior as best as I could. So I was really pissed. Like this would happen to me after playing it for like I don't know 6 months. And then I played again when Stormblood came out, but I couldn't even reach Stormblood because of that other incident of getting reported. So I was really hoping to reach Stormblood without getting one freaking report or warning. And the funny thing is, my friend who's been playing that game for a long time, he got reported too. But his reason was he got banned or suspended because he was botting. And I'm like, that's a good reason to get reported. I don't get why I'm getting these reports. Oh, it's sad. I might play it again, and I have to make a new account because every time you make a new account in PS4, you have to make a new PSN account. So I ended up buying an extra copy and wasted that copy because I thought I could make another account on the same PSN account. I had to make another PSN account to put another account in. So what I did was I used the key on one account that had already an account. So that made it like useless. That made the game useless, and I wasted money on the game. So I'm gonna take a break until a new class or new race comes out. Cause I want to play Final Fantasy 14. I really do, but it's pain in the ass trying to play it. And the hurtful thing is, I managed before I got reported. I managed to get the mount from Gold Saucer. Was that a Fenrir or something? That one of the highest where you need. Yeah, and I got that. And the moment I got that, and I went PvPing, I think I got reported, or during the time that yeah. So it was kind of. That's why I like Diablo 3. It's like you can relax. There's no freaking chat. You won't get reported for shit. It's one of the things why it's extremely simple too. One of the things I like to do before playing Diablo 3 was I like watching the people's reactions when their hardcore character died. Yeah. The Danish guy's reaction was fun because according to the guy from Netherlands, when he was playing with him, apparently he only died when playing with the Netherlands dude. So when he was playing with me, he didn't die, and then the Netherlands dude joined, and then he died afterwards. Or Dutch dude. Netherlands is his country, Dutch is his nationality. So he said that when the Danish dude died on his hardcore, I think it was was it a barbarian? He collapsed when he died. Like he heard the sudden thud on the ground and like what the fuck happened? And then he collapsed. Like that's how horrible he felt when his character died. For me, when my Crusader died, I ended up staring at the screen for 30 minutes, thinking, what the fuck did I do? How the fuck did I die? Why did I let myself die? But yeah, it still hurts, even though like you've died many times in the game. Like while I'm talking to you, I can easily just die, if I'm not careful. It's like that's how exciting it is to me. Like that's why I keep coming back because it keeps me on my toes, I guess. Have you tried the Surge? Or do you know about the game? I don't recommend you to try. I like Demon Souls and Dark Souls, so I try to play Souls-like games. The Surge being one example of a Souls-like game. But that game, I haven't even seen the first boss yet, and I'm already lost. That's how bad the level design is. I don't know. And there is no online multiplayer. So one of the best things about the Souls game is, besides being wrecked by people coming into your game and hunting you down, people who, are helpful actually take their time to guide you. The Dark Souls community is one of the most friendliest community you'll ever meet. There will be people that are really good at PvP who could easily wreck you, but would also have the same inclination to help you out. That's why I really like the community a lot. And for a Souls-like game to not have that element is like kind of bad. Because no one's gonna like to wanna YouTube and find out how to get through an area. It's a lot, Kinda. Uh, it's better if like people in the game show you where to go. Like at least in my opinion, than like having to go. Okay, how do I do this? How do I get through this hard difficulty? Then you Google search how to beat this dude with some kind of cheese, and that just ruins the game for me. Oh, I have crap. I've been p picking up shit. You've downloaded the game already? Okay.
That is too expensive.
So, one of the things that are, that change with in Diablo is if I joined your game, oh no, wait, yeah, I could still easily join your game, I think, even if you started out. I'll be able to help you out while I'm still. Oh, can I ask you something? Do you know about Terrace House? Yeah, the show.
Test my skill.
Is it true that because I've been like watching the show intently, and in the show, people there was this one kid who's like one of the guest judges or not guest commentators. Basically, that's what they do. They commentate on what's going on in the house, and he said that it's such a big deal that schools today, um, if you the kids in school today in Japan, if you don't watch the show, you're kind of out of the picture or something like that. Like you have to watch the show to be in with the in crowd or something. Is that really true? Like, is it that big? Is that show like really big in Japan? Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Oh. So it applies to not just the show then, to many things. I've noticed that like, go ahead. Uh, there's like a half. There are a lot of half people in the show. Yeah. Mhm. So it is scripted. But how would the people don't look like actors but really look good acting? Like if it's scripted, those people really know how to act. Oh.
See me now.
Ooh. So every time the show starts and the woman says no script is involved, they're basically lying? Oh, wow. Hardcore seasonal, if you want me to help you out.
The rift.
I am stronger still. I can't pick up anything else. I am returning to town.
It doesn't let you create a hardcore seasonal? Okay. Yeah, normal. Wait, I'm gonna get out of this mode. And I'll see if you... Oh yeah, Howardtron. So I'm going to make a new character. Wait. So I can join you. Because if I go with this character, it won't be much fun for you because the enemies, even though it's on normal, they will be uh scaling to my level, like 70. So you won't be able to do much. So I'm going to make a new character. Maybe maybe a demon hunter. Female. Wait, are you a demon hunter? Okay, wait. I'll go somewhere else. Did you pick hardcore seasonal or just hardcore? Okay, so how come I can't join you yet? Can you send me an invite? Oh, okay. I think we have to wait until the whole thing downloads. Yeah, that means like the whole online capability thing. So we can wait. I can wait. I'll just prepare this character then in case. Wait, in Japan, what time is it? Should be like 1:45 or le- wow. You don't have school or work tomorrow? Oh, that's cool.
Anything could happen. Isn't that nice? Do come back again. Ooh. Isn't that nice?
Have you played Dota before
Do come
or
back
Dota
again.
2?
What? I didn't even know I had that thing.
Oh, okay.
What? I didn't even know I had that thing. Ooh, that's nice. Can I have it back? Don't forget, luck
But you know the
always
concept of
wins.
theory crafting, right? In a game. Oh,
See you soon.
that's why I play this and other games like it. What's this? The other day I was like watching one of my recommended vids on YouTube about the hikikomori, if I'm hopefully pronouncing it correctly. Hikikomori. Yeah, kikomori. The ones, the hermits, the ones who stay at home. And yeah, how do they survive? Like without going out of the room. Oh, so usually a hikikomori, yeah. But usually in the States, they kick the kids out, right, when they reach a certain age.
I need to go back.
So I was surprised that one dude was like kind of proud that his parents are like supporting his lifestyle. So does that mean hikikomoris are usually kids of rich parents?
The blood runs.
Oh, 22 years in Japan. So you went through elementary, middle school, high school, and junior high school? Oh, okay. In Japan, are you being discriminated against for being half, or is that like, hmm, hmm.
Are you strong enough to survive?
Need more time.
I'm only asking because I might want to live there someday. Not maybe on the immediate, but I kind of like the culture. The only problem is a lot of people are saying, yeah, the standard of living is really high and stuff. But I really don't plan on settling down, so I can either like save money and maybe considering and to living there. So I started kind of learning um, Nihongo, reading hiragana and stuff in preparation of that. But I also want to know, like, in terms of race, racial stuff, racy stuff, if like it would be okay. Like, I know that knowing the language is like one of the first steps, like to be kind of, to be living there. But I want to be like prepared in case I might run into some unsee, you know. Oh.
That coming, did you? Not ready yet.
In the States, has anyone been up in your face about your race? Wow. But usually, half American, half Japanese end up looking more American than Japanese. So how come people like no? Oh, mhm.
A foe worth killing.
The Rift Guardian is here.
I am returning to town.
Ooh. So you have a sister and a brother. So you're 3 siblings.
A
What the heck? That's like me. But my brother is the youngest. My sister's in the middle. How's your? How old's your sister? 9? Oh, 23. Okay. And your brother? Oh, okay. That's my brother's 29. My sister's like 31. Oh, cool.
Only they could see me now. Still waiting. If my old masters could see me now.
Oops. Wow, that's crazy. So besides Final Fantasy 14, what games are big in Japan? Like besides Dragon Quest also.
Need more time. You dare attack me?
World of Warcraft, I guess. World of Warcraft big anywhere. Dragon Ball Z Fighters? That's surprising.
I need arcane
So the Dota scene isn't that big there, I'm guessing. Yeah, the opposite of China. China, most people just play PC because consoles were banned. In Japan have so much consoles. So I was like asking my friend who used to play Diablo 3 on the PC, and I'm glad to know that he prefers the console version. And for me also, I find it better on the console.
The Rift Guardian has
Yeah, get used to it. Evading is actually kind of like a bonus feature. On the PC version, there's actually no evade. So yeah, so the actual evade function is actually one of the skills that you'll get sooner or later. That's how you usually evade. So at this point, I rarely use that right stick to evade. So also usually people don't use it late game because they have so many ways to avoid damage, and you end up being really tanky. So it's not really an option. You don't have to worry about evade that much. I mean, even for me, I was able to finish the whole game without evading, and I just evade like for fun, like when there's nothing to evade, just rolling around. So I'm familiar with the in-your-face racism in America because I used to work for a call center. I forgot what it was. It's a telecommunications company. I think it is. What are the telecom companies in America again? Yeah, yeah, AT&T. I work for a call center for AT&T. And there's like some Americans who would right out tell me that they want somebody based in the US. And the reason would be they couldn't understand the stuff that's coming out of my mouth. So I had I had to confirm, like, are you sure you cannot understand me? And then he would reply with, no. So that was kind of funny, but I had to do it. Like before transfer, I need to make sure that there's like the customer was really insistent. So, but you sound really American. Your accent's really, huh?
your valor is
Uh-huh. Oh, yeah, your English is really good. Like I end up um fumbling on my words because I'm trying to pick the ones that, I'm trying to be really careful with the stuff that I say because I usually don't speak to like in Philippines they would say the term nosebleed, because they're having difficulty in speaking. But for me, it's not a more of nosebleed. It's more of I want to say the best thing that I could possibly say because I've been like speaking English and reading English, most of my life compared to Tagalog and Filipino. So like I wanna use this opportunity to improve how I speak to somebody who can really understand really good English. So in that sense, I end up like fumbling my words or getting caught. And you'll notice sometimes I'm like pausing a lot because I'm thinking of the better word to say. Oh yeah.
I have a new ally in my group, but my enemies gain strength as well.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Defenses are nothing. Nicely done.
So you're like the second tier. Like if someone like wants to talk to someone else, then you're the guy that they would, normally talk to. Oh yeah, okay. Uh-huh. So that's like one of the stressful situations in your job then. It's nice to be like having two identities, like you can be part of one community and part of the next easily. That must feel good. I'm actually kinda the opposite of that. Like I'm a pure Filipino, but I grew up in a different country, so I am not one or the other. Like you can say I'm Filipino, that's in my passport and stuff, but I don't like act like a Filipino. But I can't be an Arab because that's where I grew up. I can't speak Arabic. The dynamic has changed greatly now. Like before, now you've got like transgenders, you've got like all sorts of sexualities. Now you've got people who are mixed. There are so many types of people. It's fun. There was a time in my life where I considered ending it, like when I was young. But then, as you grow older and as you experience new things, you end up like discovering really cool shit that you wouldn't have discovered if you'd have like ended it all. So sometimes I don't understand why people, especially in Japan, where the suicide rate is strangely high, considering the country is really good. So one of the things I don't get, like, how can a country that's it's a first world country and it has like a lot of good shit, and people would wanna like end their lives. That's one of the things I don't get. I'm sorry, I'm just trying to make conversation, so I'm saying random shit, sorry.
Your defenses are nothing.
Oh. Is it in Japanese? I think it depends on your PSN account. Japanese PSN account, yeah. That's one of the reasons why I didn't go for HK. Because HK PSN account is one of the um, recommended PSN accounts if you're living in the Philippines.
I
Well,
need
I went
to
for
know.
US. But there are sometimes having like Japanese PSN account or a Korean PSN account is kind of advantageous. Because my friend, he's kind of like you. He would rather like play games in English and Korean, even though he completely understands Korean properly. But there are some times when a game would be released earlier on his Korean PSN account. So when that happens, he usually goes for his Korean PSN account to play the game instead of waiting for it to be released on his US account. Uh-huh. I screwed up like shit. I got a new uh hand gear, or basically gloves for my character, and then I was listening to you, and then I salvaged it. Cause it's basically the same shit. Like I get used to getting all crap, so I end up going to salvage shit for mats, and I guess like I wasn't paying too much of an attention, so it's okay. But it's kind of it's the first time it happened. But it's cool. I mean, it's way better than dying. That's for sure. But the glove piece isn't something that I actually need. But in hardcore, you end up wanting to collect stuff in case your character dies, so that your new character can wear them. But that's not the only reason. Yeah, your storage. Yeah, when your character becomes like 70. The thing is in yeah, so that you have some kind of backup. The storage here is a lot, by the way. In your storage, I think it's more than in the PC version. You can stash 350 items, all kinds of items, rings, shoes, pants. So that's a lot of storage you can have potentially. So it's not an issue. Like I get really tired of games, like for example MMOs that you need to pay for the additional bag slots. So a game like this where they give you bags for days is really refreshing.
I wish you.
My power grows. This will be a quick battle. I am unstoppable.
Oh, I have a question. In terms of dating, are Japanese women okay with dating foreigners or half, or do they usually just stick to Japanese guys? Oh, because here Chinese girls are disgusted by Filipino guys, and yeah, they're like
Still waiting.
the only ones who can, like, if you're a Filipino girl, Chinese guys can be all over you and shit, and they'll be fine. But if you're a Filipino guy, Chinese girls can't be seen with you. The only exception would be if the girl would be half Filipino and half Chinese. But if they're pure Chinese, then guys are usually discouraged to pursue the woman. The funny thing is, in Philippines, the Chinese here, especially a lot of the Chinese people you'll see in Manila, they grew up here, so they are extremely fluent in Filipino. There's like in my computer science class, there was a pure Chinese dude who I thought was Filipino just because he was really fluent. And that's the problem. Like sometimes you don't know if they're half or pure Chinese, and you'll just find out if they tell you I can't be seen with a Filipino dude because she's pure Chinese. So maybe I thought that would be, yeah, I'll see that would be the case, but it's good to hear in Japan it's kind of okay. I've never seen though or heard of a couple where the Filipino is the dude and pure Japanese woman yet. I mean, 32 years of my life, I've never, seen. I've known like Japanese guys getting Japanese, I mean Filipino women for their wives and stuff, but not never the opposite. I guess it's the same for. Uh-huh. Where the Filipino guy goes marries a Japanese woman.
I don't have enough arcane arcane power.
Oh. But I guess it's rare anywhere, like Japanese man and European or American woman. I think that's also kind of rare, right? Uh-huh.
Not ready yet.
Uh-huh.
I need arcane power.
Ooh.
They could see me now. I become more powerful.
The Red Guardian has arrived.
My name is Earth.
Ooh.
You have a gem?
Have you fully downloaded the game yet?
I need to go back. I can't afford that. My knowledge increases. I can't afford that.
Okay. Has to
can't
kind of
afford that.
install everything or something like that. Safe. Oh, once you quit, as long as it's safe, it instantly closes the game. Like there is no risk of you getting killed within 10 seconds of logging out or something like that, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, just make sure that the area is clear of anything. Oh, and they opened the vault, really? Oh, they opened the vault. Like, there is an item in the game where when you use that item, you go into a place where there's like a bunch of gold, bunch of goblins and shit that gives you bonus and shit. Thing is, I didn't know because there is no notification that this dude opened something, so I just found out. And if you come in late, then chances are they have, cleaned the
Proud of
place
myself.
and you'd be left with nothing. So it was lucky that I caught them opening it.
Can't carry
Oh
more.
crap, I have to store my shit.
You look like you could use a new item. come back again. Can't win everything. See you soon. See you soon. What? I didn't even know I had that thing.
Someone was afraid. Mm-hmm. They say Diablo 2 has a lot of really good shit.
I need to go back.
Then, like, some people think Diablo 2 is still the better Diablo, but I really don't know why. I think there was like, I think people think Diablo 3 is way too easy, even though, you know, playing on hardcore and shit compared to Diablo 2. But I think that's normally how it goes with like sequels. Once a game company sees that there's going to be a following, they would make the difficulty kind of easy so that there will be more people who would buy the game. I mean, that's all I know about the comparison. That there, some people are saying Diablo 2 has a better um, build system, and you know that you really need to think really hard about your decisions before going through the. Basically, hardcore in Diablo 2 is way more difficult than hardcore in Diablo 3. That's just it. And a lot of people are hoping that the next Diablo would be the remake of Diablo 2, which would be cool because I haven't really played Diablo 2, so it will give me like, huh? Yeah, I received the invite. Let's see. Oh crap. Let me switch my character. There we go. Oh, your game's paused. Paused. I think you're in a menu or something. Oh, there. Okay, now because we're in the party, you won't be able to pause your game anymore. So just, you know, heads up, because we're in hardcore. If you wanna go AFK or something, make sure that you're in a safe place. Because now we can't pause the game. I can't pause the game too. So we have to keep, you know. This is gonna be fun.
I cannot afford that.
Oops, mistake. Just give me some time. I'm allocating my Paragon points.
That is too expensive.
Okay. There we go. Okay, so now we have to go search for the signs of Deckard Cain. So we just teleport here. to the old ruins. Use the teleporter, the blue circle thingy.
The star fell below.
It shouldn't lag much because I'm in your game. You're the host. So, yeah.
I have long waited for this knowledge.
Okay. Um, I need to let you know about something. Right before I told you about the community of Diablo 3 being crap because people that uh, hacked the game, had mods and shit, was like destroying the integrity of the game because compared to the PC version, you can play this game offline. So because it's played offline, a lot of people can do what they want with it because it's not it's the data isn't stored in Blizzard servers. It's stored in your hard drive, right? Okay. So before seasons came, it was like, okay, I'll give an example. I was playing hardcore, right? And I was hoping or expecting that the people who cheat
I'm unable to
would
get it
stick
open.
to non-hardcore, basically softcore, where you can die an infinite number of times and still be able to play your character. Because if so, why would you even go to hardcore? Like, because hardcore is for the challenge, right? So why would you even go to hardcore if you're just going to cheat? Like a, it's kind of weird or ironic. So I was streaming one time, and while I was streaming, one viewer was actually kind of friendly to me, like, and that's why I'm kind of careful with adding people now, because when I was streaming, the guy who was like watching me, I saw it was a high level in Paragon, like basically a legit player automatically because I was expecting hardcore players, are legit, and that he would, if he would like help me, he'd do it in the most legit way, like not cheating or anything, right? So he joined my game and gave me an item, gave me a weapon. At first I was like, see, this is the event, double goblins. At first I was like curious as to why he would want to give me an item. And then I saw the item and I was confused because I've never seen a hacked item before. It was the first time. The item was like crazy, but it wasn't a legendary. It was yellow. And then I saw the crazy amount of damage that the item had. So when I used it, I immediately gained like 100 levels or something like that. Like the experience for 100 levels. That's what I gained, and I was like kind of pissed because then my game's ruined. Like progression is already sucked. If I would like tell my friend in Korea that I cheated, he would call me a a loser and shit. Like, cause I don't like cheating in in a game where it's online and basically I prefer doing things legit. Like that's the reason why in MMO games I usually don't play on private servers. I play on official servers. And if there isn't an official server, then I'd rather play a different game or wait until the official server or official title comes out. So I tried to kill my character because I wanted to start over or whatever. He couldn't die. In hardcore, I couldn't die just because of this item. So I deleted my account. And after that, I was like really careful with adding people in, and I set my what you call this? My online game to only LAN or just private game. So for the longest time, I haven't been playing with anyone like online. I've only been playing solo, which is sad because the reason why Diablo 3 is so good is you can play with your friends. But if the only reason you would be able to play with your friends properly is if you actually have friends nearby that won't cheat like the people who are online, then that kind of sucks. But the game is really good. So I stopped Diablo 3 for a very long time. I stopped playing for a very long time until the seasons came. Okay, I know the story is really long, but there's a point to it. Um, what they did in seasons so that people can cheat and so that people would be legit. So if somebody joins us right now, if we're in a public game, we know 100% he can't cheat. But the developers did something so that cheating won't be possible. And that thing kind of sucks, but it's worth it because that way the people who play won't um, you know, will be more confident that the people joining them won't be cheaters, and people can be playing with other people. So the thing that they did so that there won't be any cheaters is now, even though we're playing online, we can't trade any items, nor can we send each other anything in the mailbox. The mailbox is permanently disabled, and when we drop an item, you won't be able to see it. So previously, that's how cheating was, done. I drop an item, you see the item, you can take it, and even if it's you know, a corrupted item or a hacked item, anyone can take it. Now, we can't help each other in that way. Meaning, if you find something that I would like be able to make use of, you won't be able to give it to me. That's what sucks. But the good thing is, the drop rate in Diablo 3 later on is so good that it won't even matter. And they've put like options. Later on, I'll be teaching you those options after we finish the whole game, or after you finish the whole game. That we'll be able to get more items in less than 5 days later on. So it's not really a big deal, but you really have to know that we can't trade shit. We can't trade gold. We can't trade stuff while we're in seasonal. But people who would be joining us in your game, 100% legit. So that's the only bad part about it. So yeah, I just thought you should know. Okay, let's go continue.
Blacksmith. Not now. Sometimes death. Thank you. Follow me.
Have you ever gotten your wisdom teeth removed? Is it impacted? Like, is it growing in a horizontal way? And is it like pushing your other tooth? Or if it's not pushing, okay, that's kind of scary because that's kind of what happened to me before. So I'm not trying to scare you, but I think you should know that even if it's not pushing your teeth, there is a huge chance that there is a cavity in between the teeth, and they won't be able to see it until they pull it out. And I was scared. Like when I found out that there would be a cavity, like there was a chance, I had to remove it, and then they found out that there was a cavity, and
Couldn't have done this. Fucking hell. Your test too
I'm
many
kind of
souls.
screwed.
And
So,
if you see my fool
my advice would be like
tell him to get back to town.
try to do it as soon as you can, like as soon as you are able, because it kind of sucks. Because there's a chance that the second molar that's next to it would be destroyed, and then they would have to remove that too, and that would be the worst thing that could possibly happen. Wisdom teeth sucks. I just Well, when I was younger, I was like thinking that I'm such a badass for having it because the name Wisdom Teeth means like I thought it would mean like I'm wise or something. Turns out that it's a pain in the ass. So only one is impacted or both? Okay, that's the same as me then. The other one is kind of like growing properly, but there's a gum in the way, so they're gonna have to like
The blacksmith's apprentice
uh
is dead. I must
cut
let
the gum
Hendrik
so
know
that
when
the
I
teeth can, erupt properly. Ah, teeth. Wait. Okay, that's like one of the bugs. The blue arrow isn't actually where we have to go. It's a yellow arrow. So once we find the yellow arrow, that's where we're supposed to go, I think.
An interesting opponent. Do not fear the end.
So that's like one of the best things in this game is that those Nephilim yellow orbs. Previously on the PC version, you can only unlock that once you finish the game. But now, even if you like
Ratma has blessed me.
starting for the first time, you can have access to it. Basically, what it does is it gives you double damage, so it's really helpful. I really should like catch up with some of the anime I'm supposed to watch. I still haven't finished Umaru yet, the second season.
You will make a fine corpse.
Yep. This Diablo feels more like an arcade game, to be honest. And if you know about what's that game? Gauntlet Legends. Gauntlet Legends. Have you heard of that game? Yeah, it basically feels like that. That's why I like it so much. Like, it's like a RPG arcade game. I think I said while I was on stream that it's kind of like a bullet hell mixed with an RPG. Later, it's gonna feel that way. Especially the Demon Hunter, your build definitely looks like something from a fucking bullet hell game. It looks so cool. Basically, gonna spread out so much uh, arrows, and you're gonna spam that, and it just looks like badass clearing. I had a really strong Demon Hunter, I think, yesterday or this earlier this morning, and he was just spreading those arrows like crazy, clearing tons and tons of mobs. That was crazy. So it's like half the screen is filled with arrows, and then he puts in like sentries. Like he can like have 3 or 4 sentries, and they're shooting at random shit while he's shooting, bombarding enemies with his arrows. It just looks so badass. The problem with the Demon Hunter before was they're the squishiest class. That's why I was a bit, scared to play a Demon Hunter in hardcore. But now since they balance it really well, they're not as squishy as before, but they are squishy. But that's exactly why they have to be like masters of positioning themselves. My brother's Demon Hunter died. And that was all on me. Still feel bad about it. I told him to get out. Like, in one of the rifts, I told him, like, it's not safe for you. Let me clear this out and then come back after they're cleared. But he was so confident because he just got one of the strongest weapons that time. Like, he thought he could do it. And then he died. And I was like, I told you to get out. I told you. And then it was like really sad. He's a grown man. And then he's a dad already. Like, he has a son and he has a live-in partner and shit. And he took like 20 minutes to go outside and smoke. That's how bad it was. Let's do this event. We didn't do the event. Yeah, they are. Yeah, this is basically running already. This is walking. This is running. You should like, yeah. And that was it. That's all we need to do. Yeah, we were just supposed to pick that up. So basically, there are like 3 places, kind of like this one, but we have to find the right one, and we got the wrong one. Instead, we got the event one. So what's fun about this game is the maps change. Like, it's like the maps are living. Every time you go into a place, the map is different, and you have to explore the place all over again. So it kind of puts a fresh perspective to stuff. Okay, next area.
When King Leoric came to court, he brought many nobles with him, and nobles, oddly enough, want noble crips. So I showed up with my shovel, thinking to make easy profit by digging a few holes. Ha! There's no stopping their demands around here. Now, I eat, sleep, and breathe dirt, it seems.
So you notice we're running a bit fast. That's because I've been destroying the tombstones. So destroying some objects allows you to get some kind of movement boost. Temporary movement boost. Oh, it's a unique enemy or elite. Have you played Borderlands? Do you find it fun? I remember not liking FPS games until Borderlands came and Bioshock came out. Because when I was a kid, I used to play like insane hours. I used to give insane hours to playing a game like Counter-Strike. So I ended up having like motion sickness but for some reason playing Borderlands I didn't feel that way, or at least I did until like I got used to it really fast, which was good. But I'm sure if I played Borderlands again I'd be a bit dizzy until after playing it, maybe after 1 or 2 days.
Crown is not here. I'll look for it in another crypt.
Yeah. We went the wrong way again. So now we're going here. Sometimes going the wrong way is actually better than going the right way, because then you actually gain more experience points and hopefully get better items before go finding the right way. Because it's hardcore, so the more prepared you are, the better. And that was my second wizard. My first wizard was during the season break. Like I think 3 days or 3 or 5 days after the season ends, you have a break to like play with the character you know you're left with. So you basically you see hardcore and hardcore seasonal, right? Okay, so if we finish the season without dying, okay, our characters will be put in the hardcore category. Now, if, for example, your Paragon levels are like the seemingly infinite amount of levels you can gain after reaching cap. So it's like end game content. So the maximum level in this game is 70, right? And after you're 70, you gain Paragon experience points and Paragon levels. So you can check your Paragon by going to the menu, skills, and you can see Paragon. So those are 4 things that you use later on. You're going to like make use of them when you're past 70. You're gonna learn more about them basically after you're past 70. So Paragon levels are very important because they allow you to get stronger for one. But since your hardcore is different from your seasonal, what it does is your seasonal character, let's say you ended the season with Paragon 1000, right? And in your hardcore, you have a character that has Paragon 500. What the game does is once the season's ended, all of the experience points of your seasonal character will transfer to your non-seasonal. So right now I'm pretty sure they're like legit players who've been playing Diablo since the first season. The not really. I think the first season in on PS4 was 10. Since season 10, uh, their Paragon levels are off the charts in their hardcore level because it stacks. So you would have a super strong character in your hardcore that's like being fed by your seasonal character. The only thing seasons do is it allows people to play the game, you know, uh, equally. Like you may be the strongest in your hardcore, but once season starts, everyone's the same, and that's where the fun is. Everyone starts the same. Everyone has the same levels, and you can see the leaderboards, who is catching up to who. So they made it kind of competition because if you play this game enough, you'll realize that the game is not about just finishing it and uh, what you call this, finishing the story and reaching the end boss. The game is actually about finding out the best way, the best routes, and best strategies to reach the end game fast and to beat everyone else doing so. Like for wizards, they have their own leaderboards. For demon hunters, they have the same, and they're constantly competing on who is the top, the best guy who finishes the game faster, who gets through the enemies faster, etc., etc. And they even have like uh, speed runs where they time themselves, and the fastest timer gets an achievement and shit. So that's what Endgame is about. So all in all, comparing all of my games like Demon Souls, Dark Souls, I really think the game with the most replayability is Diablo. Because look at me, I'm still playing it. Like I bought this game a really long time back when I was in Dubai, and right now I still find it appealing. And surprisingly, a lot of people too for some reason. There's just something about it. And hopefully Diablo 4 would also have the same thing. Okay, this is like a turning point in the game. Once we finish this and we get this item, the Chancellor's Altar, we can now teleport back to town without going to a portal. All you need to do is press the right directional button.
I need to go back.
Can you do it? Yeah, right directional button. Yeah, the D-pad.
I need to go back.
So now, as long as we are in a safe space and there's no enemies attacking us, we can channel to go back to town. If there are any enemies like attacking us, it will
No,
cancel the
not here.
channeling. Yeah, so that kind of like saves time for us. So we don't have to find a portal and teleport all the way, blah blah. So now it's a lot
Find the
easier.
car. It's good to work again. There. New as the day it was placed upon the Black King's head. I need something more than making spades.
Also, when you pick
Time
something
I
up,
die.
make sure
I
that
want
you
my
see
life to mean something.
if it's stronger or not, because you would always want to update your gear. And we're focusing more on defense than attack. Basically, if you have attack and defense, that's the best option. But it sacrifices a lot of your attack. It's best to not do it. It's best not to equip it. Just like salvage it here. And since we're playing on normal, it's a lot easier to just pick up stuff and not be afraid of dying that much. Okay.
How might I use the crown to reach the Skeleton King? When he is
So when you talk to the people, they're speaking in Japanese. Yeah, there is no option. I guess. Yeah. Wait. Okay. Because it's a. Wait. Have you tried googling if there's a way to change it? Because I've seen Japanese streamers and they're all in Japanese, so I think that would be the case most of the time. Damn, no screen. Yeah, in soft copy. It's yeah. Most of the people are telling the guys who are writing about it to buy the English version. Okay, so we go to here. Okay, I think it's this way.
This creature will die.
So last season, I was. Oh wait, no. Last season, I was playing a necromancer, and my friend also went necromancer. Now the necromancer has a skill where he uses the corpses of the enemies, like for this instance, to explode, right? So since we were both necromancers, every time I would explode a corpse, he wouldn't have anything to use his skills on. So there's like sometimes you need to pick a different class.
through his dark and corrupted heart.
Okay, so the arrow is pointing it here. Okay, so now we have a bit of defense.
Maintain your incantation.
Your magic is... I am free! Now, back to my mission.
Who are you?
You will know soon enough. Tell me, what brought you to this infernal place?
I must kill the skeleton king.
Then our aims, the cultists dragged me past this glowing pit. It looks like your friend needs me. Down this way. There are my weapons. I am Cormac, warrior of the Templar Order. If it is the Skeleton King you seek, then you will have to fight your way past John Dar. There is no reason we should hunt alone.
I usually prefer to be alone, but I will make an exception for a warrior like yourself.
Black magic bars our way, but the will of a Templar is stronger. You were a Templar, John Dar. How could you succumb to this coven?
The Coven is my brotherhood now, Cormac. The powers we serve will... Please forgive me. My vision was clouded by the Coven's evil magic.
Betrayal can never be forgiven. Thank you for your aid. I will go with you on your hunt for the skeleton if we find the sacred tomes of my order.
Very well. I have no need of books.
Then onwards we go to fight the Skeleton King.
Nothing new. Okay. So you know about the runes, right? Okay, once you get runes, sometimes it would be like if you have the time. Once you unlock a rune for the first rune for any skill, you can actually check the other runes and then read those descriptions. So sometimes what I like to do is like I like to read and come up with builds or see what's the most useful one. Surprisingly, in this game, reading stuff is actually interesting. Because then that's how you end up theory crafting, like reading the descriptions. And sometimes if the descriptions aren't clear, I find myself googling shit, like clarifying stuff, like what if this does, like if this is what it says, does this mean I can do this? Does this mean I can do that? I don't know. I just really like the idea of theory crafting. Oh, it's an elite. So on the PC version before, when I was playing hardcore, I used to dread elites a lot because they have the best chance of killing your character because they're stronger than the rest. But then, since they made it extremely easy on the PS4, like compared to the PC version, it's a lot of fun to find an elite, and you actually find yourself looking forward to finding an elite because they give you really good drops and sometimes even a legendary at low levels. And this game is all about the legendaries. Like, the first time you find the legendary until like the 1000th time you find the legendary, it still feels really good to see when once the legendary drops. They're brown, and when they appear on the screen, they actually appear on the map. Like if, for example, you're here, and on the other side of the map, I killed an enemy that drops legendary. Just by looking at the map, by pressing down on the directional pad, you can see if a legendary drops because it has a special uh, symbol on the map. Like it's brown and kind of round, I think. Chances are we'll find our first legendary. There's a huge chance we'll find the legendary at the Skeleton King, and that's where we're going right now. And most often than not, the first legendary is one of the most useful legendaries. Useful in fact that once it's useless in terms of defense, like you're gonna find a better item, it's better to store it because later on the game actually gives you the option to wait. I'll explain it after this. I don't think there's any enemies here, so I'll explain it a bit now. When you go to skills, you can see on the like between the 20 and the 30 lock pads, like they're the passive skills, right? Level 20 passive skills and level 30 passive. There's a lock that says powers, right? An open lock pad. You see in the 3 slots to the right, once you highlight the powers, you see a sword, an armor, and a ring, right? Are you looking at the same screen I'm looking at? I know, on skills, between the 20 and 30, you will see a lock pad that says powers. Powers assigned via Canai's Cube, right? While you have that highlighted, on the right side, you will see a sword, an armor, and a ring, right? Okay. There are some legendaries that have special passive abilities, and those slots that you see can transfer to you. Meaning, if you have a sword, a level 10 sword, and that level 10 sword gives you an ability, let's say, gives you the chance to perform an attack that deals 200% of your weapon damage, right? Now, we don't know if 200% is the highest it could go because even the passive abilities, they have this kind of roll, like a dice roll, like from 100 to 200, or we're not sure. So those 3 slots will always have the highest possible number. So if the highest possible number for that weapon is 250 and your weapon is 200%, if you cube it, maybe that's the term that they use, cube it will turn into an ability that you can select on your character, and that will end up strengthening your character. So that's something that's new here. So if you find, like, let's say a level 10 legendary or level 20, level 30, but it has an ability that you want later on, or yeah, best to like store it so that you will have to use it later on for your Kinect Cube. Because you will see in the leaderboards, there are some characters with different weapons and they have different powers. Sometimes they switch it. If their power is weaker than their weapon, they end up using the weapon instead of the power, and vice versa. Oh, I'm sorry if I'm like overloading your brain, but bottom line is all legendaries are valuable, from the weakest to the highest. One of the mistakes I did before was once I find that the legendary is useless, like in terms of stats, like the defense or damage is useless, I end up salvaging it or throwing it away. Uh, Sometimes that's you doing that would be a big mistake. So any legendary that we find from now on, let's just store it in the stash in the town, basically. You got a legendary now? Yeah, that's the legendary I'm talking about. That so that after you'll find a better helmet later on because you can't keep that equipped because the defense we're gonna gain levels really fast and chances are we're gonna find the yellow item that's stronger than the legendary. Once you find a better gear, stash that Leoric's crown in your storage place so that you can make use of it later on. Basically, that's what I was rambling about. So Leoric's crown, if you read the legendary affix or legendary passive ability that it does, is that it increases the effect of any gem that is socketed into it by 99%, right? So gems are like later on, but I'm just gonna explain to you now. Gems are things you put on gears to strengthen them. So if the gem, for example, gives you like 50% HP bonus, with that Leoric's crown, it's gonna be like 100% or 99%, depending on the percent. But see, it says socketed into this item by 99%, right? So that's the roll, 99%. It's a pretty high roll. But once you cube that later on, it will always be 100%. Cubing is like really far away, but you know, just so that it won't be overwhelming later on. Okay, we have to. We don't really have to, but I think it gives us good experience points to kill all of the cubes and pillars and all the skeletons. Oh, good. You got the Nephilim orb.
We have just arrived in Tristram, and I must say, I'm a bit dismayed. This place is a backwater filled with serfs and an ancient broken-down monastery, hardly fit for the king of Condorus. I cannot fathom why Lazarus was so intent on this becoming our new seat of power.
So this is like our first major boss.
You will never defeat me!
Later on, there is a weapon that's exactly like that that we can equip. But by the time we can equip it, it will be kind of weak. So it's just for the cosmetics. Nice, I got the sword.
I am returning to town.
Yeah, when you have the same legendary, compare the stats, and if one is weaker, then wear the other one, and then salvage the next. Oh, if the defense is weaker by a bit, but it gives you better damage, then go for damage. It's fine, because we won't be getting any gems right now. The only time we can be equipping gems is at Act 2? Or, yeah, the later part of Act 2. So you don't have to worry about gems right now. That boss was, wait, sorry if it's too loud. That boss was kind of easy, and I'll be telling you which boss you'll have to be a bit careful about. It's still a long way off, don't worry.
This is unexpected. How did you...
Do you remember who you are?
The darkness.
Perhaps...
Do you know the story of Diablo 3? Okay, so I won't spoil anything.
I believed it was a fallen star. But in truth, it was only a man.
Surprisingly, the story is pretty
His
legit,
memories have vanished.
especially if you compare it to games like Destiny.
Perhaps Deckard came no more.
I actually don't mind the gameplay of
Yes,
Destiny too much,
Patrick. Do not
but
feel
everything else
despair,
just
my
really
lord.
falls.
You did
Yeah.
everything you could. Our time together meant more than words can say. But in the end, fate is a cruel mistress. Your strength is needed to end the horrors that beset this world. My
Are you looking
final
forward to
wish
Anthem?
is that you find your path. Love always. Mira.
Oh, isn't there already Division? The first one? Oh, okay. Really? I didn't know that. Oh. Ooh. Well, you're lucky. There are some people who are complaining on this board bought the game in Spanish and they completely can't understand Spanish. There was this one time I was playing ESO. Oh crap! I lowered the volume too much. Yeah, I was one time I was playing ESO and I added somebody who could only speak Spanish, so I had to like use Google Translate to talk with him. It was not an easy thing to do. You gonna call it? Yeah, you're gonna call it now. Okay, so yeah, I should probably get to watching Suits or something. Okay, it was fun. So I'll use this character like when we're playing, or like let me know if when you'll be available to play. It'll be 7. That's fine then. In the evening. No, just 1 hour difference. We're Philippines. It's not that far. Okay, so see you tomorrow then. If you're playing. If not, then yeah, it'll be. Okay, so how was your experience so far with the game? I'm hoping I didn't bore you too much with talking about the technical shit and stuff. Because when once I'm into something, I end up going off on a tangent and shit. Oh, okay, basically blind. Okay, I'm glad I'm able to help. Like for something like Diablo 3 or Dota, I really enjoy like imparting some knowledge about the game, and I really hope that you aren't too like put off by the way I speak and the way I say shit. Okay, so but this is the first time I met someone like around the same age group. And if you don't mind me asking, how tall are you? So you're like 5'11"? Wow. Yeah, everyone I meet, they're like over 6 foot. I was like hoping I'd meet somebody the same height for some reason. But yeah, you're like closest to my age group, so it was fun talking to you. I don't usually get that chance. Usually it's either someone really young or 5 years younger. I had somebody that I was speaking with that was like 18 or 19, and it was really difficult because it was kind of immature and shit, so it was kind of hard to keep a good conversation going. But with you, it was really chill, and for once, I'm the one doing most of the talking, so that was kind of weird. Anyway, so yeah, because yeah, this is a game we're talking about, and usually people playing games are way younger than us. Yeah, yeah, it's kind of like that. Like for Demon Hunters, you have two types, hatred and discipline. Hatred uses that like the spenders, those thingy, and discipline is what you use for defensive abilities like dodging and shielding and stuff like that. So you have to keep like that's one of the cool parts about the classes. They have different resources. They're called resources. So my resource is different from your resource. Demon Hunter resource is one of the most unique ones because you have two resources, the discipline and the hatred. So you have to keep track of both of them at all times because sometimes you might want to get out from a sticky situation and you have no discipline to do that. So you have to like manage it so that you do have some. And there are other ways to get more discipline later on, but those are like more or less late game stuff that helps you with your build to balance shit out. But the cool thing is later on you'll be so used to your class. It's not even funny how interesting it is that you're doing shit that you never thought that you would be able to do. But I'll give you an example. I'm gonna come back to your game, okay? I'm going to change to my main. Wait, why did I continue? Okay, let me see. Let me see if I can go to your game. Join party. I have another. No, wait, never mind. Okay, so this is my wizard. Okay, so you can see the cosmetics and shit. Later on, you can change your cosmetic to an armor that you like. So this is just cosmetics and stuff. But the cool thing is, the build revolves on this
Need more arcane power.
circle things. So I'll explain a bit about the build. See the wide circle bubble thing that you see? So I have an armor set that allows the damage of this white ball to do way tons of damage to enemies that are caught in this circle. Okay? Now, in order to even improve more on that damage, if I use this compared alternately with the white circle, it increases my damage even more. So previously, when I was starting out, I really didn't care much about that shit. But now, once I'm doing rifts, it's like second nature and shit. So what I'm doing second nature now, once you get like to high level and stuff, you'll be surprised at yourself that you'll be doing stuff that's also second nature to you, that only you, that's completely unique to your class. And that's one of the coolest things in this game. You're gonna be doing shit like just YouTube some of the builds, and you'll see cool stuff that your class does. And when I was your level, I was like imagining when I'm doing it, right? And it's definitely worth it. Like you'll see the numbers flying and damage and everything dying left and right, and you'll be like, "Oh shit, I'm so badass." Well, that's I'm just like telling you, preparing you for the end game and shit. But right now we are focusing on the current thing to finish the story before we can delve into it to get to level 70, and we need to focus on keeping us alive until that happens. So that's one of the things that's going to be fun in this journey. Okay. And with that, I'm going to say sayonara, matane, and thank you so much for like adding me and stuff, and I had someone to talk to. Okay, so I'm going to be signing out now. I really hope that like you get into this game more because it's something that I really like, and if I find somebody who's also into it, then that's even more cool. Like, I have someone I can converse with about the game. So really, thank you for like getting into the game, basically. Thank you, thank you. Okay, bye bye. Enjoy your sleep. See ya. Night night.